Hello, welcome to Not Dead Yet's album swap. I'm Dan.
I'm Lee. Hi.
And this is a weekly feature where we swap an album with each other, we recommend an album to each other, and then we have to go away and listen to it and come back and report on our findings. So, last week, Lee, you gave me Modern Lovers by the Modern Lovers.
Yep.
And I gave you...
A Tribe Called Quest. I can't remember the name of the album.
No, because it's one of the most ridiculous album titles.
Go on, what's it?
Instinctive Travels and the Paths of Rhythm.
That's the one.
Yeah.
He gave me that.
Yeah. So, how did you get on? Speak
It's-
very carefully.
I will speak very carefully. It is the best album you've recommended for me. I'm probably going to go out and buy it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I probably will.
Seriously?
Yeah. I thought it was great. Loved it.
Are you joking?
I've been listening to Can I Kick It on repeat all week.
Okay.
It's been my song of the week.
Yeah.
I've been listening to it constant. Like that song. No, I thought it was great. I really loved it.
It's an amazing album.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I Tribe Called Quest. They're a band that. I came across it. So when you recommended it, I knew the name obviously because they're a famous band.
Yeah.
And so when you said there's someone there I'd recognise,
Right.
as soon as I looked at the track listing, Can I Kick It?
Yeah.
It that I've got attachment to that song anyway.
Yeah,
I was talking about last
yeah.
week. So like we were talking in the waffle section. Go back about Steven Gerrard. Dan's a Liverpool fan. Now I'm an Arsenal fan. Now I remember getting a VHS video as a kid, and one of one of my Arsenal heroes would have been Ian Wright.
Yeah.
Other than being a great personality, feisty character, he's the sort of player that, as a fan of that team, you love. But if you're a fan of other teams, you hate him.
Yeah.
And he's from where I'm from. He's from Woolwich.
Okay,
right, so there's lots of little connections. But anyway, that side, I remember a compilation of Ian Wright goals and little tricks he used to do, and it was soundtracked to Can I Kick It?
Right. Okay.
So that straight away that propelled me back
Yeah.
to being 12 years old.
Right. Okay.
But that aside, that is an incredible song, and I think the album's great. There's stuff like the first song,
Push It Along.
Push It Along is great.
Yeah.
It took me a few listens, and then I was like, oh, it's Pubic Enemy.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
It's quite a long album. But I thought it was great. Really mellow but upbeat.
Yeah.
Perfect for the summer. It's been sunny largely this week.
Yeah.
And it's just been a perfect album to listen to and from work. I'm probably I'm going to go out and buy it, but I'm probably going to go out and buy it on vinyl so I can sit at home,
nice.
listen to it properly.
It's okay.
great.
So I adore A Tribe Called Quest, and that album. So basically, they had a string of, I would say, 4 albums.
Yeah.
That they released in succession, and every album in that succession is a masterpiece hip hop album.
So they would have been mid-80s, would that be right?
No. Late 80s.
Late 80s,
early
okay.
90s.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So they followed that up with The Low End Theory,
Right.
which is another incredible album.
Yeah.
And then Midnight Marauders, again, just outstanding. So
Right,
those
okay.
3 albums together are probably 3 of the best hip hop albums you could ever hear.
Right.
But they kicked it off with Instinctive Travels, and it's an incredible album.
I just it's quite long. There's quite a lot of tracks.
Yeah.
Songs in there. I really like. I think I'm gonna go and buy it. I think I want to just stick it on at home and have mooching around because I think my journey to work isn't hugely long.
Right.
So it's really 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So
it's not quite enough to fit that.
Not quite
album.
enough.
Yeah.
So I didn't listen to the end of the album maybe as much.
Yeah.
But even on the way here today, I listened to Can I Kick It 3 times.
Right. Okay. Yeah. No,
I listened to it once, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to listen to that again.
Yeah.
And then as I got off the tube, I was like, I'm going to go back and listen to that one.
Yeah.
And it's great, but that's not saying the rest of the album isn't good. It's all great.
My favourite track on that album is Footprints.
Footprints. Where's that?
I think it's probably 3rd or 4th track.
I didn't get up actually, but
It's but there's some great samples on it. It starts off with a Stevie Wonder sample.
Is there a sample on there that's "Walk on the Wild Side" by Lou Reed?
Well, I think "Can I Kick It" sounds like it's got a bit of that in it,
yeah,
but I'm not sure it actually is from that. It might be, but let's have a look. Actually,
I don't know. Bonita Applebum. That was
that's great. And there's
Footprints. Yeah.
Bonita Applebum. There's a remix of that samples Carly Simon's "Why."
Oh wow!
And that is incredible.
Really,
it's so good, and it's so difficult to find on vinyl as well. I think I have it, but it took me ages to track it down, and I think I paid way more than I should have paid for it. But you can't find that remix anywhere really. Like it's not on Spotify.
It's got to be on YouTube somewhere, isn't it?
I think you can find it on YouTube. But it's basically, if you're talking about a summer record, the Y remix it's called, of Bonita Applebum is like the perfect summer. That's one of those records that you will just loop and loop.
Well, let's dig it out and stick it on Facebook.
Yeah, okay,
We'll
we'll put that.
Check it out.
Yeah, it's cracking. Let's have a look at who sampled. So who sampled? I don't know if you know about this.
I've never seen this before.
Is you can get an app for it, which I have, but it's a brilliant database where you can type in a track or an artist and see what songs were sampled.
Ah, this is good.
Yeah. So Can I Kick It? This also, Can I Kick It was released on a 12-inch, and there's like 3 versions on it.
Right.
And there's a UK remix, which is fantastic of it. And that also has a track in it called When the Papes Come, which is about getting your draft orders.
Right.
For the army.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic.
I'm actually going to put a note in my calendar to buy that.
Oh, no, you're right. Yeah, it is Walk on the Wild Side.
Oh, check me out.
Yeah.
You need who sampled, you need Lee sampled.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like that, but I kind of remember thinking that before and then checking it and it wasn't, but I was obviously wrong. So, I'm really surprised and glad that you like that album because it is one of my all-time favourite albums.
I think it is something that I really I want to go back and listen to. Like I've said a couple of times, a couple of albums. I think I'm actually typing Get.
Yeah.
A Tribe Called Quest. I know, like I said, I go back and listen to Sage Francis. I haven't.
Yeah.
And a couple of albums you recommended, I've still got on my Spotify list, and I haven't gone back to.
Yeah.
But I will. This I 100% will. I'm still going to listen to this next week.
Right. Okay.
Because I just thought it was really, I just loved it. It was great, and I think that goes into that hip hop that you recommended me that I really enjoy, like Gangstar. Maybe I don't know. There's a similar vibe. It's quite mellow but upbeat as well. But it's different.
Yeah. I mean, I think the thing is that A Tribe Called Quest were not at all about being gangsters, or being hard, or being like
no, not at all
violent or sexist or anything. They're just like guys.
Hip hop sort of.
Yeah,
music
it's just about life basically.
Yeah.
There's some really sweet songs on there as well. There's a track called The Luck of Lucienne, and that's about their friend who's a French immigrant and how he's coping with life in America basically.
Okay.
So it's cool. So that's good. Okay, so you gave me The Modern Lovers by The Modern Lovers.
Yes.
When I listened to that, I hated it.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah, and then I listened to it again.
Right, okay.
And I was kind of indifferent.
Right, okay.
And then I listened to it a third time, and the track Hospital really caught my attention.
Right, okay.
Really, really like that.
Okay.
And then I thought, okay, that's interesting. And having discovered that I liked that track, I liked everything that came after it on that listen.
Okay.
So then I listened to it again, and I thought, I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah.
What I did feel like when I listened to it, though, is that I don't know Velvet Underground very well.
No.
The Velvet Underground very well. But this felt to me like this was very much like the Velvet Underground.
He's a huge fan.
Okay.
He formed the band because he was a fan of Velvet Underground.
Because that's...
And John Cale produced it.
Okay, because that was my overriding impression. Like I said, I don't know the Velvet Underground, but I just thought, this makes me feel like this is very much about the Velvet Underground.
Right, okay, yeah.
I think that might be just down to the singing style or the arrangement, the production on it as well.
Yeah, it's quite different. Yeah, I can see that.
But I went and listened to the Velvet Underground off the back of that to check whether my instincts were right, and I kind of feel like they were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what album did you listen to?
And what's Andy Warhol? Or
Andy
Nico?
Warhol. Yeah,
the Banana album.
Banana album.
Yeah.
What do you think of it?
I probably the same as this. I need to listen to it more.
I'd recommend White Light White Heat as well.
Okay, because the reason I don't know much about the Velvet Underground is because I've never been that impressed.
Yeah, okay. I quite like
one of my friends who I really respect his opinions on music. He loves that Andy Warhol album.
Yeah, it's great.
It's his favourite album, and he's tried to get me to listen to it on many occasions, and I've always just been a bit.
Nah.
I really like the track. I don't know if it's on that album or not. Venus in Furs.
Yeah, it is.
That's an incredible sounding song.
Yeah.
Very strange.
Sunday Morning is quite haunting.
Right. Okay. But yeah, so I did really enjoy it.
Oh, good.
I did kind of feel though that you're grooming me to like the Libertines with this album.
Not at all.
Like you're building up by slowly softening my resolve, and then you're going to smack me down with the Libertines. And let me tell you, my friend, That is not going to happen.
Well, I remember a similar conversation about Metallica.
Yeah, that's true, but that will not be happening. No.
I'm sure there's lots of cute Libertines fans out there. Dan, have you met my friend?
No. There is that will not be happening. Yeah. So yeah.
I'm glad you liked it because I think obviously like the Pantera choice I gave you like a couple of weeks ago was a bit. I was like, I can't think of anything.
Yeah.
But like Modern Lovers is an album I really like. I mean, Jonathan Richman's still going. Like and like you probably like you.
Yeah, I did a bit of reading. Yeah.
Like he does a lot of sort of spoken word stuff.
Yeah.
Like now.
Yeah.
So like listen to it, you're not surprised.
Yeah.
But I mean, I used to when I used to DJ, I used to play Pablo Picasso quite a lot.
Yeah.
Roadrunner's the big song.
Yeah.
That's the most famous
Yeah,
one.
and that's not actually anywhere near my favourite. Hospital is definitely my favourite track on that album.
She's Cracked is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was also surprised at how old that album is.
Yeah.
Mainly by the cover art.
Yeah.
The cover art did not make me think that this was an old album.
Okay, I mean, it's got a look that, like, say, the likes of Libertines and Strokes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Interestingly, though, the album was actually recorded in like 70, 71. It wasn't released until like mid 70s.
Okay.
After they split up.
Right. Okay.
So it's actually a compilation.
Ah, right. Okay, that's
Pretty much,
interesting. Yeah.
He was like a kid. He was a teenager when he wrote a lot of those songs.
Yeah.
His band was interesting. His band, they kind of split up before that. I think they had a deal with a major label. I can't remember who.
Yeah.
And it basically never got finished. And the label was like, just go, basically.
Really?
And then, so he went off because he didn't like that. He didn't like stuff. So the label released it. And he was just like, didn't really want to associate with it.
Yeah.
So obviously they wanted to get the money. But about members, I don't know which members, but one member went on to form the Cars.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And another member ended up becoming part of Talking Heads.
Oh, wow. Okay, so yeah.
So and
an
Jonathan
important
Richman,
band then.
Yeah. So Jonathan Richman carried on doing lots of solo stuff, and I think, as I said, he does a lot of spoken word now. I know he was in London a couple of years ago. I was going to go and see him, but I never got around to it. But I don't know. I'd want to hear these songs. I don't think he'd do those.
No. And it was interesting for me because, like I say, when I first listened to it, I was like, "This is shit. I don't like this at all."
What was it? What was it about the Hospital that made you come around?
I'm not sure. There's something. It felt kind of heartfelt.
Yeah.
And I really liked the atmosphere of that track. And because I think when I first put that album on, I just thought, this just sounds like another weird kind of We Love the Velvet Underground clone.
Yeah.
And I'm just not interested in that sound.
Right, okay.
And it was only through repetition of listening. And, like I've said before, I'm quite open-minded about things. I might listen to something and hate it, but I'm happy to give it a chance.
Yeah.
And this is one of those instances where, my initial verdict on this was and then really, really liked it, yeah. So
I'm glad, because when I thought about what like albums to give you last week as a follow-up to Pantera, and I thought, well, I like Modern Lovers. I mean, I don't know loads and loads about them.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got that album,
yeah.
I think, because I quite like the cover art, and I really like that kind of like CBGB 70 punk stuff Stooges and Talking Heads and all that, Ramones and stuff. And I got a compilation that had Roadrunner on it as a live version, and that got me into them. When I thought it could be something you'd like.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of it's just guitar music essentially, but it's quite. I think like lyrically it's quite nice and quite interesting and quite comedic in places and. I thought his vocal style would be something you may be into.
Yeah, I'm not particularly,
no?
but it's kind of won me round.
Okay.
Okay. So, the moment of truth.
The moment of truth.
What have you got for me this week?
I don't know if it's a band I've mentioned before. It's a band called Perhaps Contraption.
I have heard you mention them.
Have you listened to them?
I have not and I've heard you mention them. I've just thought, whatever.
The album's called Listening Bones.
Listening Bones. Yeah. Okay. Right. So I am going to give you Heavy Starch by Dirty Art Club.
Never heard of them.
Okay. Good stuff.
So is Dirty Starch the band, or is that the...
No, Heavy Starch is the album, and the band is Dirty Art Club.
Dirty Art Club.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
this will be interesting.
We're going to have a couple of weeks to listen to these albums because we're away next week. You can follow us on Twitter on Hatdello.
Hatdello.
No, at Hello Not Dead Yet.
Yep.
And email us
at hellonotdeadyet@gmail.com.
And what else have we got?
Facebook, Hello Not Dead Yet. Spotify, Hello Not Dead Yet with underscores in between the words.
Yeah.
And Instagram, Insta Not Dead Yet.
With an underscore.
Yeah, those things under there.
Cool. So
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah, see you
Okay, you can join in.
Yeah.
Please feel free to tell us what you think of the albums and recommend any albums that you might think we should do.
Yeah.
But
good to
that's
know.
it. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, see you in a
Happy
week.
listening.
Bye.
Bye.